Big Kish news up in here, man. Shout out to KB Goes Live. We want to know, did Kendrick Lamar have the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever? Did he? I want to know. Did he have the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever? We about to take a little dive into this, man. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe and watch the video all the way through. Do that for me. Do me this solid. as Dot would say, right? Hey, look. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this news.
All right, let's talk about this Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime performance that went down. This was the first solo hip-hop Super Bowl halftime performance to ever take place. And at the same time, it was also the most watched halftime show in the history of the NFL, with over 126 million people tuning in.
Well over 126 million. I already explained it. Y'all should know why.
And to watch it. Honestly, that number is astonishing, but obviously with numbers like that, there have been mixed reviews about it. To say that this performance was polarizing would be an understatement. However, the vast majority of hip hop fans gathered their statement. However,
what's this? Kendrick Lamar is Not Your Savior by Craig Jenkins, a Vulture music critic who also covers TV, comedy, and video games. Not all black folks loved Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime performance. Here's why. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show was more concerned with Drake than politics. Yeah, man. It ain't got nothing to do with Drake. That was a movement what he did, man.
However, the vast majority of hip-hop fans gathered together and enjoyed this. This was a W for hip-hop in general, but on the opposite spectrum of that, you have people that don't like hip-hop that didn't like it. And also, some hip-hop fans didn't like it, mostly because of the beef between Drake and Kendrick and a few other shortcomings that took place, like the sound audio was not the greatest. But overall, if you want my opinion on this,
oh, yeah. No, and them windows on the GNX ain't clean either now. Them GNX windows ain't clean. So, man, this joint was trash because them windows not clean right there. Yup. That's how they argue.
This was an excellent performance. If you say differently, you are lying to yourself. The biggest critique about the performance was the sound audio. Also, I seen people complaining about the length of the songs because it was more like a shortened compilation of a bunch of Kendrick Lamar's hits mashed together. People are saying that Kendrick Lamar's songs hit harder in full length form, but it's the Super Bowl, and this is something that we actually see a lot happen on the Super Bowl. So it's not irregular that Kendrick Lamar did it this way. In regards to the sound audio, you've got to understand that they are doing this live with basically no backing track, and they're trying to get the best sound quality they can get out of a stadium, right? A lot of people were watching this from their TVs or from their cell phones, so they were complaining that the audio wasn't that great. But honestly, I listened to it through my big speakers, and I don't think it sounded that bad given the circumstances and the acoustics of where they were doing this at. You got to think,
man, I watched it on my TV. I was about 8 feet away. It sounded good because I know the words to all of it. You know, and then some of the people already know the words. Like, yo, what you need to you just vibe, man.
Of all the dancers, the design, the giant stadium, all the people in the crowd. There's a lot of variables that went into getting the sound right. So I can understand the shortcoming on the sounds. But I think for what they were working with, they did a phenomenal job. When you look at Kendrick's performance, you can see that he had excellent breath control throughout this entire thing. From the very beginning, he was sweating very heavily. He's basically walking around doing this live performance in this giant area. And while he did feel like he might have been starting to run short on his breath every now and then, he did phenomenal at controlling it, and he hit every note and every syllable that he was supposed to hit. I seen people like this right here posting online saying this is not music, this is some loser mumbling, there is nothing artistic or redeeming about this. And I would like to see this guy get out.
Man, look at your profile pic, Roger. No, Benny.
there and rap for basically 14 minutes straight while doing a performance and see if he still feels like it's some loser mumbling. Because what Kendrick Lamar did takes skill. It requires practice. And when it comes to execution, I think that bro did an excellent job. You've got to keep in mind that not only was he having to hit all of these lyrics and words on point, he was having to keep the tempo, the rhythm.
These are park or dudes. No strings attached. Look.
Lyrics and words on point. He was having to keep the tempo, the rhythm. At the same time, he was dancing. He had
they do got a little string attached to him. But look at him, man. Come on, bro. That dude ain't climbing up there, man.
Gang of backup dancers with him that were part of the choreography. To say that there is nothing artistic or redeeming about this is ridiculous. Not to mention he was doing this at the Super Bowl. So there is tens of thousands of people in the audience watching this. There is hundreds of millions of people at home watching this. I mean, I don't know if there has ever been a concert that had more than 126 million people watching it. It might be the biggest concert that has ever been viewed live like that. So not only did Kendrick hold it all together while he was doing this, he also defeated any nerves that he might have been facing when it came to this. So yeah, overall, I think it was a solid show. It was a great performance, but I think people are split because of a few reasons.
Bro, you got to think, man. You got to put yourself in them shoes if you can only imagine the nerves. You know what I'm saying? He's human as well. Everybody won this spot. He about to perform in front of millions. Do all them steps and all that. I'm on them tough. You know what I'm saying? Switch up the words.
And one, they may have a personal bias because of the beef with Drake, right? Two, this was at the Super Bowl. So there is a massive audience watching this that are normally not very familiar with hip hop or hip hop culture, right? Those are the two groups of people that I have seen online hating this performance. When it came to what songs he performed 12 separate songs, roughly a minute apiece for each song. He started with the GNX preview song, went into Squabble Up, Humble, then DNA, Euphoria, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Not Like Us. He pretended he was going to Luther with SZA, All the Stars with SZA, Not Like Us, and then he ended with TV Off. This was his set list. And before he ever even got to perform it, we seen people making a predetermined opinion just based off of the set list. People like Joe Budden.
All of the people that believe that that was Kendrick's Super Bowl lineup, you're an idiot. Y'all are really stupid. Seriously. Let me tell whoever this cultureless kid is that put this together. This is the worst Super Bowl lineup I've ever heard. This is not happening. Punch would punch him. Somebody would step in if he got up. Let me tell y'all something. Hey, came up. If y'all think Man at the Garden is coming on tomorrow night, you've been in a good garden.
That was Joe Budden speaking.
But Joe didn't, oh, damn, how you do that? But Joe didn't know that it was going to be boom, bop, boom, boom. He didn't know that Samuel L. Jackson was going to be there. He didn't know that it was going to be a damn protest. You know what I'm saying? He ain't know that.
Speaking on the set list that Kendrick Lamar did, that set list leaked before Kendrick performed at the Super Bowl. It was leaked by academics. Joe Budden reacted to it, basically saying there's no way this set list is real. He pretty much called it garbage, said that whoever put these songs in order and said this is what was going to happen was a cultureless kid. And then it turned out that that was the exact set list.
I got to know how you did that, KB, man. That's fire, bro.
Cultureless kid. And then it turned out that that was the exact set list. But you can tell that he already had a preconceived notion about how this was going to go. A pre-made narrative ready to run. All right. So you had people like that didn't enjoy the show. You had people like Boosie posting this right here on Twitter that said, "Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar. Good performance, but Louisiana had a
No, he said K Lamar. He couldn't even spell it. He can't even spell his name out. So he basically saying, yeah, Lamar. Like, it's corny, man. Boosie corny, bro.
of artists to do their own lineup. I'm gonna say it, right? Pretty much throwing some salt Kendrick's way for whatever reason. There's been the whole discussion about should New Orleans have had a hometown artist perform. People were saying they wanted it to be Lil Wayne. I've pretty much been saying that's a dumb thing to say from the beginning. Kendrick Lamar had a crazy run last year. He deserved this. He earned this. The Super Bowl has never hosted hometown artist except for maybe once or twice in the history of the Super Bowl. So you had people like this that were hating on it. And then you also had like right-wing conservatives that were hating on it. We looked at one of those tweets earlier in this video, but that wasn't the majority. A lot of people did enjoy this show, even some right-wing conservatives. You had people like this right here going on Twitter and saying, finally a non-woke satanic halftime show. Kendrick Lamar is showing off the American flag. I love this, right? And I think that Curtis King sent out a tweet that pretty much summed up my thoughts on this perfectly. Curtis King sent this tweet out right here that says, the reason Kendrick's performance was likely underwhelming and mid to you is likely the same reason NASCAR is boring to me. I am not the intended audience, and that's okay. But you never see me go out of my way to make sure NASCAR fans knew my unsolicited.
Exactly. I'm not going nowhere. So I don't like this driver. Like what? I ain't watching that, man.
Opinion. And I think Curtis is dropping facts right there. The vast majority of people online that were saying they didn't like this performance were people that don't enjoy hip hop in the first place. So who cares what they think about it? When it comes to the hip hop fans that didn't enjoy the set list, I can see where some of them are coming from. A lot of this set list was from his latest GNX project, but we did have some classics in there. We had some big hits from the Damn era, DNA and Humble. We had SZA in there. They were performing songs from the Black Panther soundtrack. They also did Luther from GNX. And yeah, some of the songs were from his latest project. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to promote his most recent project. Like, what else was people expecting? If you ask me, Kendrick Lamar had more touchdowns in this game than the Chiefs. He kept people on their
Hey, that's a good one, bro.
seat by teasing Not Like Us, right? He had the joke where he was like, y'all know I want to play their favorite song, but y'all know they be suing. It sounded like he was going to do Not Like Us. Then he went and segued into some other songs before coming back with Not Like Us later on. You had Samuel L. Jackson in there playing Uncle Sam, which is crazy. But he was given like a narration style dialogue throughout the entire performance. The camera movements were great throughout this performance from the way that...
Yeah, them camera movements was fire. And how he went around the camera, ducked down, and then popped up, pickable. That was fire.
They filmed the performance to the way that they would segue into Samuel L. Jackson giving his commentary. I even think the commentary Samuel L. Jackson was given was pretty great. If you think about what he was doing, you know, he said, oh, you can't do this at the Super Bowl. It's too gritty. It's too ghetto. It's almost like they scripted this and dialogued this because they knew what kind of backlash they were going to get. Like, they knew what people were going to critique and say about this. They knew that there was a massive audience that wasn't hip hop. So it's like they got ahead of that whole, oh, I didn't like the Super Bowl performance because it was ghetto, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, when you really think about it, the way they did it was perfect. They were able to curtail all of the criticism that people ended up eventually tweeting out before they ever even got the chance to tweet it out. And personally, I respect the hell out of how Kendrick Lamar got up there and kept it all hip hop despite knowing that there would be that kind of conversation sparked. In fact, I think he knew that it was going to spark that kind of conversation. And when he got up there, you could tell he was making a statement for hip hop, which I love. Now, there are several different layers to this performance, though. Aside from acoustics, aside from the performance itself and the music performed, there was a lot of symbolism going on. Right now, I'm not about to make one of those weird ass super breakdowns that people are making online where they are digging into every little detail. It's just not what
Now, I wouldn't call it weird. I just say that, hey, look, them rabbit holes go deep. Them rabbit holes go deep, man.
I do, but there was a lot going on. One good example is that he had Serena Williams there, which is notoriously one of Drake's exes. SZA also has a history with Drake, right? She was also there performing. We had the whole moment where Kendrick Lamar very deviously looked over at the camera and said, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young." And I do mean he was looking absolutely malicious right here in this moment.
It's like he was just anticipating that snap. And that shit would look scary, bro. Hold on. Let's be scared one more time. Hold on.
Right? She was also there performing. We had the whole moment where Kendrick Lamar very deviously looked over at the camera and said, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young." And I do mean he was looking absolutely malicious right here in this moment. There were the backup dancers who were dressed in red, white, and blue, which could be perceived as the American flag. I've seen some people saying it could be a reference to the Bloods and Crips, and then people that aren't affiliated. I've seen people say that it actually stands for both of them, and it kind of represents this idea of separation, right? When you think about gang culture, red, blue, the same with America. It feels like the country has been separated, and I think overall, Kendrick is really pushing a message of unity here when you really get down to it, but there could be several layers to that. There was like the PlayStation controller layout. We've seen the triangle, circle, square, and X. People can read into that however deep they want. I think on a surface level, at least, it shows that Kendrick is playing the game. He is winning the game. We heard Samuel L. Jackson.
Look at that 3-0. The X was on top of the 3-0 as well. He 30'd them. 3-0.
Jackson referenced that in one of his dialogues he was given. And then there were also some major moments in there, like obviously when Kendrick Lamar got to the A minor part of his song and we heard the entire stadium. It felt like pretty much saying get right along with him. But honestly, that moment was probably even more powerful than just the stadium saying it, because the people in the stadium that can afford them tickets and stuff, those weren't the target audience for Kendrick Lamar's performance. I think what made that moment even more powerful is outside of the stadium and all across the country and probably the world, you had people all in tandem saying this right here.
Bruh, the whole world saying that at one time is wild. You probably could step foot outside your house door and hear somebody saying it.
All across the United States, all at the exact same time, not just in the stadium, bro. Wow. That's crazy. But like I said, there was layers to this. I seen my homie Big Kish was posting up about this part right here, the game over part when Kendrick finished his performance. We seen the crowd basically had this right here in it, game over. Big Kish posted about that, hinting that there might have been a bigger narrative at play than just the performance being over, because he also posted this right here, which is a screenshot from it.
And we went over that. We went over that joint. Matter of fact, we reacted to it. Jalopy Bungus had showed us this joint.
An operation ran by law enforcement called Operation Game Over. And this operation took place during the Super Bowl, and it was targeting human trafficking. And we all know the allegations that Kendrick has pretty much put against Drake. This could be a coincidence or it could be a deeper meaning. But there was a lot of symbolism going on in this show right here. To say that it wasn't artful or it wasn't creative or that it was bad is just a bad take. This is by far one of the best Super Bowl performances probably to ever take place, especially if you're a fan of hip hop. In fact, I seen ESPN ran a segment where they were pretty much asking the opinion of people and what they thought about the performance. And they had Ryan Clark on there, who I think gave a great summation of this.
Well, one, I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I gave it an A+ because the first thing is...
Hey, he gonna keep it real, bro. We reacted to him before. He keeping it solid, man. He definitely keeping it solid. He ain't holding nothing back. And matter of fact, he's from New Orleans. He's from New Orleans. And they was interviewing Lil Wayne one time, yup.
is it's actually very difficult for a rapper to do a show of that magnitude.
Yeah.
Normally, rappers don't create and choreograph in that way. And it's also the symbolism of the entire thing. The revolution is about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Right? You're too ghetto, you're too loud when it's coming from Uncle Sam and Samuel L. Jackson. Obviously, you mentioned the Serena Williams part, but then there's also when he plays Turn the TV Off at the end, he turns to the camera, he hits the remote, the lights go out, and it says game over in the stands because now he's saying, hey man, all of this is done. Right? I've not only won 5 Grammys, I not only won the beef based on public perception, but you're talking about suing me, you're trying to sue me. I'm saying, I gotta play the song, y'all. They want me to play the hits. And he's like, but you know they'll sue. And then it finally drops. And when it drops,
Look, this is somebody that's in tune with it. It's a lot of people out there speaking on it, and they wasn't in tune. You don't know nothing. Don't speak on it. You up there tweeting and all this stuff. You wasn't even paying attention. Why are you even speaking? Why are you around?
Camera is placed perfectly to be right on Kendrick's face where he says, say Drake. And I think that, like, to me, I think he's...
Look at Stephen A. Smith like, yep, that's my boy. That's my boy right there. Yep. Now, you know him. Look. He ain't going.
Genius, right? You look at his first album; it's like a movie. He won a Pulitzer for Damn. He's won Grammy after Grammy, and right when he knew he was in a beef with someone who was able to make a diss track, a club banger, he said, even though that's not my realm of music, I can do that. And now you bring out Mustard after you drop GNX, so you have songs just for this day. I thought it was a masterful performance because I thought it was so much deeper than just rap. It was so much deeper than just beef. It showed the creativity.
Look at his face. Look at old boy's face. He like, what? Look at him. Look.
Of a true artist, and I don't believe that. And I'm a Lil Wayne fanatic. I think he's my favorite rapper of all time. Only Kendrick Lamar could have done that show as a
He loved Lil Wayne, but you got to keep it real though. You got to keep it real.
Rapper in that manner.
Dan.
Yo, I think that was the perfect summary of it, but that's my thoughts. That's my take on it, my little breakdown of it. Y'all got to let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. Anyways, that's
lovely. Perfect. Love that breakdown, KB, man. Shout out to KB Goes Live, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in to KB Goes Live. And KB ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the video. Great breakdown. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Y'all go tap in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, please. Because we trying to get back into the algorithm. You know what I mean? Big Kish News signing out. I'm gone, y'all.